Okay, let's try again. Scan through the list and remove candidates who don't match very many data points. Use the subtract button to remove a candidate. Narrow candidates down to 3 people and who match the most data points. So he's not giving me much room here. Thank you, baby. Giuseppe was a talented Italian artist from a young age. Italian artist and sculptor, known for the Rape of Proserpina and one of the David sculptures, Bernini. He had achieved a solid reputation as an artist in his early 20s. Italian painter known for the birth of Venus, many of his works were passed off as his masters when he was training. Hey Zozo, Botticelli. Come here, baby. Zozo. What? Where'd you go? You're way out there. Fine, whatever. Leonardo da Vinci. Italian genius skilled in multiple areas, known for the Mona Lisa and the Vitruvian Man. Among other accomplishments, likely that many of his master's paintings were in fact his. Let's see, he certainly did not die young. Neither did this guy. Neither did that guy. Neither did that guy. Italian artist Michelangelo, Italian artist skilled in many areas, most known for the Sistine Chapel paintings and his work in St. Peter's Basilica. As an apprentice, he was paid as a master artist. Oh shit. Review the data points in the grid, then select the picture of the candidate you think is best match. Use the select button to confirm. Raphael, Donatello, or Frank Lloyd Wright. Well, he obviously has... Raphael has, like... data in all the points. So he has the most data. So it's obviously supposed to be Raphael.
Is this a joke?
Not at all. What do you see?
His biography reads like that of Raffaello Sanzio d'Urbino, the 15th century painter better known as Raphael.
You do not disappoint, Mr. Rector. Such a pleasure to finally meet you. Truly, I'm delighted.
Wonderful. Now perhaps we can discuss the job you have for me. I still don't see the point of that exercise. A modern man happens to have a similar life story to a famous painter. What of it?
Indeed. Its relevancy to us needn't concern you. All we ask for is your expertise in making the historical connection.
Yeah, that's not shady.
Do you have a job for me, Mr. Dexter, or not?
I do. The job is in Venice. A young woman of wealth and high birth was murdered there a week ago. Her name was Bianca Cardolo. I'd like you to go to Venice and investigate who she was, and do what you just did so magnificently. See if she reminds you of any historical person. That is all.
I don't investigate deaths. Hire a detective.
We're not looking for her killer, only the facts of her life. A brief biography, if you will. And for you to document any connections you draw to any figure in history. Perhaps there will be none. That's acceptable as well. You get paid 20 to 30,000 for your work for the auction houses. I'll pay you 50. It should take you no more than a week. What say you, Mr. Rector?
I might be interested. But first I want to know why you're keen on this particular woman, and what the point is behind these comparisons to people in history.
I'm afraid any further information is classified at a high security level.
I'll take the job.
Excellent. I know you won't disappoint me, Mr. Rector. Speak to the guard in the lobby. He'll give you your plane tickets. And Godspeed. I very much look forward to hearing your report when you return from Venice. I'll forward the relevant information about Bianca Cardolo to your phone.
Very well. Goodbye.
Pass through the scanner, sir.
What is up with his janky walking? Gee whiz.
Mr. Dexter said you have plane tickets for me?
Yes, sir. Have a good trip, sir.
Thank you. Looks like I've taken care of everything here. I should head to the airport for my trip to Venice.
Giuseppe Montesero's life is a near identical match to that of Raphael.
I've taken a job for that new client, Amble Dexter. I leave for Venice today.
Oh, God. Why am I not surprised? Well, I'll hold down the fort as usual. Good luck.
Thank you. Gretchen?
Yes, Malachi?
That's all for now.
Very well.
Looks like I've taken care of everything here. I should head to the airport for my trip to Venice. I started a dossier on Bianca Cardolo based on the information Dexter sent me. I should start there.
Malachi keeps the info he learns on his phone. Refer to the Bianca Cardolo dossier often to see how your investigation is progressing.
I should call Detective Brunetta.
Call Brunetta, the detective working on Bianca's case, from the contacts section of your cell phone. Bianca was murdered 1 week ago in her hometown of Venice, Italy. She was found hanging from a canal bridge. Determine if Bianca Cardolo's life was similar to that of any famous women in history. Signor Dante Cardolo, Canal Castillo 301. Detective Brunetta in charge of police case. Murdered at 21 by hanging. That's pretty grim.
Pronto, Detective Brunetta.
Buongiorno. This is Malachi Rector. I need to speak with you about the death of Bianca Cardolo.
I was told to expect your call. Meet me at 425 alla Due Colonne. That's the site of the murder.
Thank you. I'll see you there.
Murder bridge! What the fuck?
The veins and arteries of Venice. This canal is one of the smaller ones. Bianca was hanged from this footbridge. Was it a warning? If so, for whom? The police thoroughly swept the bridge for clues. and I don't see anything unusual about it. There's nothing I need to access on the other side of that bridge. That house needs repair. A lot of these Venetian homes have been passed down through generations, and the current owners can't afford the upkeep. That must be Detective Brunetta. I wonder how Amble Dexter got the Italian police to work with me. There's definitely more to this than Dexter was willing to tell me. Those homes overlook the canal. You'd think there would have been a witness to Bianca's hanging.
Inspector Brunetta. Red eyes. Stoned. Working long hours, little sleep. Bloated stomach. Stress-induced acid reflux. Smoker. High-stress job. Well-worn coat. 20 years as a detective. Brunetta has been a detective for around 20 years. His job is usually stressful, but has been even more so in the past week.
Are you Detective Brunetta?
That is correct, Mr. Rector.
Yes.
I've been told to answer any questions you have about the death of Bianca Cardolo. I can't say I understand why.
Well, I'm glad to know where you stand, Detective. Let's get started, if you don't mind. It's always good to know your source. You won't mind telling me something about yourself?
That depends on what you want to know.
You've been a detective for a long time. 20 years at least.
That's right. Someone told you about me?
Your experience is obvious.
I will take that as a compliment.
This is a high-profile case, isn't it? You've been working on it around the clock.
That's right. Never lets you go, a case like this. And what is your stake in it, Rector?
I'm not trying to find her killer. I just need information.
And you're a luckier man than I. But if you mean you'll stay out of my way, then I'm glad for it.
Do you know the Cardolo family personally?
I'm not a part of that high society, even if I had the time to have a social life, which I don't.
You said you were told to answer my questions. Can I ask by whom?
You don't know?
I'm not in the habit of asking questions I know the answer to.
I was told it came from a mayor's office. You were hired by Signore Cardolo, perhaps?
No, it wasn't Cardolo.
Interesting. Well, at least I know that much.
Tell me about Bianca Cardolo.
She was a popular figure in Venice. Everyone knew her. She was even named the most beautiful woman in the city several years ago. The public wants her killer found, and so do I.
Tell me about Bianca Cardolo's murder.
We know she was followed while walking home from a concert. She ran. The killers caught up with her here where we're standing. They hanged her from this bridge.
Sounds familiar. In fact, I read that much in the papers.
I can't read your mind, Mr. Rector. If you have questions, ask them.
She was walking home from a concert alone?
Yes, her husband is a very busy man. As I understand, she often attended artistic events without him.
Was she robbed? Molested?
No, her purse fell into the canal. We retrieved it. Her money and credit cards were all there. Her jewelry was untouched. There were no signs of rape.
Were there any witnesses?
No one came forward, even after Signor Cardolo put out a personal request.
Do you have any leads on the killers?
No. If you want my opinion, such as it is, they were professionals. They left no physical evidence on the bridge or on the body. Even the rope was generic.
Tell me about the Cardolo family.
Dante Cardolo, her husband, is extremely wealthy and a very important man in local politics. Well-respected man, for good reason. Her father, Venetian royalty. It would be difficult to find a more distinguished bloodline anywhere in Italy. This crime has all of Venice in shock, and we have no leads. We haven't found anyone who would want to hurt her.
And yet, someone did.
Yes. If you want my opinion, her family had nothing to do with it. But that begs the question, eh? Who did?
Those are all the questions I have, Detective.
Maybe someday I'll know what this was all about, eh?
I doubt it. Even I don't know what it's all about. But I wish you luck in finding Bianca's killer.
I'll need more than wishes. Arrivederci, Mr. Hector.
Arrivederci.
She was often referred to as the most beautiful woman in her home city. I'm glad that's what's important, is how pretty a woman is.
Pardon, Signora. May I have a word with you?
Yes? What can I do for you?
The old woman must own that rundown house. They're a matched set.
Severe hairstyle. Hides drugs in bun. Yes, that's totally what she does. Probably a retired teacher. Touches his neck. Lost her soul jewelry. Threadbare clothes. Low income. Careless fingers. String musician? The Signora is a retired music teacher with money problems.
Yes, Signore. What can I do for you?
I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Malachi Rector.
Buonasera, Signore. I am Caterina Falone.
Is this your home, Signora? It's lovely.
Ah, grazie. It's been in my family for 4 generations.
I noticed that you seem nervous, Signora.
You would be nervous too if unspeakable things happened just outside your front door. I do not wish to talk about it.
Thank you for speaking with me, Signora.
It was a pleasure to speak with such a fine gentleman. Arrivederci.
So we obviously need to find her necklace.
I believe that's a younger photo of Signora Filone, the woman who lives near the site of Bianca's murder. She's wearing a Venetian Murano glass necklace. I don't recall seeing it on her when we met.
Found this picture of Caterina Filone, my lovely aunt from her 20s. What a looker. Love you, Auntie.
There's something on the bottom of the canal. Could it have fallen from Bianca's purse?
Mr. Hector, it's a pleasure to see you. Welcome back to Venice.
Thank you, Signor Barozzi.
Did you come about the figurine? Let me know when you're ready to see it.
It's a protester. They're thick as flies in the city. I'm not interested in hearing about her politics. It looks like a collapsible pole. Perhaps a Venetian boat pole. Interesting piece. I'd like to take this boat pole. Can you put it on my account?
Of course.
Signor Giuseppe Barozzi. I've known him for years. While his stock is usually lower grade, he knows when he's seen something significant, and he calls me. I've seen better, in art and in real life. It's not unique enough to get my interest.
She needs to have 3 tits.
The soft lighting covers a multitude of sins. Venetian fine china. It's affordable and ever so slightly rare. Good for Barozzi's middle-class clientele. Is it a lamp or a blow-up doll? I can't think of a client I dislike enough to saddle with that thing. Those candelabra are interesting. They look like they came from the church. Those wouldn't be big sellers in Manhattan. I hate lions. Unfortunately, they're very popular in antiques. I never buy or sell anything like that. Barozzi is old school, like a lot of antique dealers. He still records his sales on paper. This Venetian necklace looks similar to the one Signora Feloni wore in her younger days. I think this one is worth a purchase. I'd like to buy this necklace.
Certainly. Let me get that for you. Shall I put it on your account?
Please.
There you are. You have a good eye, as always, Mr. Hector.
His desk isn't old, but it's certainly taken a beating. I wouldn't have it in my shop. Signor Barozzi, might I have a word?
How can I help you, Mr. Hector?
How is the antique business in Venice these days?
How good can it be with this global recession? Italy is drowning in debt, and the protesters keep even the tourists away. In all honesty, I have never seen conditions so desperate.
Fortunately, there's always a market for luxury items. The rich get richer even in a downturn.
How can you say so? The EU is about to collapse. There are terrible days ahead for everyone.
I don't believe it's as bad as all that. The press love to fearmonger.
I am afraid it is that bad. Unless we can find some brilliant leadership to steer the world out of this mess, things look very black.
Well, I hope I am standing here in a year, and you can tell me you were wrong.
So do I.
Sequel bait.
Did you know Bianca Cardolo?
Why, yes. That is, I knew who she was. She even came into the shop one time. Her murder is incomprehensible.
I'm looking for information about her.
I didn't know her personally, but I'll tell you what I can. What do you want to know?
Tell me about Bianca Cardolo's family.
Well, you know I love Italian history. Her father, Signor Antonio Savoy, is from two of the most noble Italian families, the Savoys and the Capetians. The Savoys, as you know, were the royal family in Italy up until World War II.
Interesting. Tell me about Bianca Cardolo's husband.
Dante Cardolo. You know, he is from the Capetian family, just like Bianca's father. But they are distant cousins. He was very popular in Venice. He could have gone far in politics, but his support of the EU at any cost has the common people very angry. Only time will tell if his political career survives, if indeed Italy survives.
Thank you for the information. Was Bianca Cardolo wealthy?
Oh yes, both her birth family and her husband's family are extremely wealthy. There's no doubt about that.
I see.
It's none of my business, but why are you interested in Bianca Cardolo?
Her story caught my eye, that's all.
I can't blame you. It is a terrible thing. Oh, Mr. Rector, such a crime does nothing to help the city's morale. We could all use some good news, eh?
If you learn anything new about Bianca Cardolo, please contact me.
Absolutely. I would be happy to.
I'd like to see the figurine you mentioned in your letter.
See. Here it is. Take all the time you need. I hope you'll find it to your liking. I know your taste is excellent.
We'll see.
Alright, I'm gonna save and then get some sleep.
That's all for now. Thank you.
As you wish.
Alright, I'll see you guys later. Her family was among the most wealthy in Europe. Her husband was unpopular due to his politics. Husband was descended from same prestigious bloodline as father. Her father was from two of the most prestigious Italian bloodlines, Capetian Savoy. Savoy, the Italian royal family for centuries till World War II.
An interesting piece, if genuine. I should analyze it.
Archangel ivory, early 6th century, part of it is of a diptych carved in the classical style with a youthful face and ideal proportions. Begram ivories, 1st or 2nd century, found in Afghanistan, featuring motifs of numerous animals, flowers, dancers, female nudes, musicians, and more. Bernini bust. Gian Lorenzo Bernini, famous 17th century Baroque sculptor known for dramatic and realistic expressions and details in his work. Hogarth portrait. Mid-1700s English painter and cartoonist. His portraits are famous for capturing unique expressions in his subjects. Louis Chessman, 12th century. Chess pieces with exaggerated and glum expressions that appear comical to the modern eye. Material. Elephant ivory. From elephant tusks, cross-sections show striae of retzius or growth bands, unique to this type of white ivory, found in Africa and Asia. Synthetic ivory. A variety of materials are used. Celluloid and casein are common. The grain of the cross-section is most often too regular in appearance, instead of having irregularities like genuine ivory, found and used worldwide. Walrus ivory. Walrus ivory has a distinctive creamy eggshell color with slightly darker marbling, found and used around Greenland, Norway, North America, and Russia. Type. Islamic ivory carvings. Ivory was popular in Islamic carvings and art in the first 1,000 years AD, but carving living beings was not allowed per Islam's aniconism. Medieval chess pieces. Chess pieces were non-standardized in the medieval age. Sets were often themed for a region ruler, etc. Ming Dynasty Lohans. Ivory carvings of Buddhist spiritual practitioners, also called Lohans or Arhats, became popular in the Ming Dynasty. The figurine's composition and detailed crafting are consistent with pieces found in the Louis Chessman. It is a genuine match for the set.
The figurine is an excellent find, Senor Baruzzi. It's a 12th century Lewis Chessman piece. The British Museum and the Museum of Scotland each have part of the collection, so we might be able to get them to bid against each other. Marvelous. Can I assume our usual split?
Of course. Oh, that is good news. Should I have it sent to your store in Manhattan?
Please do. Oh, and insure the hell out of it.
Of course. Thank you. I'm not ashamed to say I will be glad for the money.
Okie dokie, let's save.